Hey guys, so in this week's episode I'm going to show you guys a fun little trick that I like to do with steak. Now most of you guys have been cooking for a while, not very many of you are newbies, so I wanted to show you guys some tricks of how to kind of get out of the normal rut and doing the same old, kind of get stuck doing the same things and you want to try something just a little different to spice it up a little bit. I guess it's just a tip and a trick to use lime juice on your steak. It just makes it like a little sugary crisp, lime zesty crisp on the outside. Alright, let's quit talking and let's get right into it. Let's start with our steak. Now today I have a New York strip, nice and lean, but it does have that beautiful fat cap. Now here's tip number one. Lots of salt and lots of cracked black pepper. That's the key. So many times I've had people ask me questions about like when they have one of my steaks, like why is it so good? It's because I use a ton of seasoning. Especially if you have a large cut of meat, you don't want to under-season it. So you can see here I'm using quite a bit of seasoning. Now, here's a little trick. You put some salt and pepper on your plate, and then you put a little fat side and the other side, so every single inch of your beautiful steak has a little seasoning on it. Now, to save on dishes, I'm using the same plate here. I'm going to season very simply some asparagus, just olive oil drizzle, a little drizz, salt and pepper, and that's pretty much it. Alright, here's the lime trick. You all know the lime trick. I've talked about this ad nauseum. You just roll it to get the juices loose. To loose the juice. Then we're going to squeeze the lime juice. Now here's the tip, the trick. So I use lime juice on my steak and on my vegetables because it has a really beautiful sugar content. And it's got that sweetness, it's got a little tart, a little zing, a little zip. And it adds a much more fun flavor characteristic to your food at the end. Now you're not really going to taste lime. It's not going to... Well, I mean, it'll taste a little bit like lime because it's lime juice, but I mean, it's not just lime juice. Oh, here I'm cutting a head of garlic in half, put that on some tinfoil, drizzle some olive oil, and add some salt and pepper. Then we're going to wrap the tinfoil up in a tiny little bundle around the garlic, and then we're going to cook this for like 35 minutes or so. I'm going to start right in the middle of the heat. We'll get to that in a second. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I had a jalapeno pepper, so throw that on there. Same thing, a little salt and pepper and some olive oil. Really easy. If you do it like this too, you save on dishes because you only have one dish that you're mixing everything with. And that's it. Let's head to the grill. Ooh, slow-mo. Alright, so here's our little bundle package of garlic. Now I'm going to put it right over the heat just for like the first 4 or 5 minutes or so, just to get it hot real quick. And then I'm going to move it over to the side so that the ambient heat can cook for the rest of the time. Now we're going to put our steaks right over the hottest part of our coals. We want to make sure the coals are red hot before you start cooking. If you're using charcoal, make sure all the charcoal flavor, like the pre-light stuff, make sure all that lighter fluid butane taste is cooked out, so like 30 minutes or so. So I'm going to rotate the steak a little bit to get a little bit more even crust. Now I added those limes to the grill. Now they're hot, so that juice is loosening up even more. And I'm going to squeeze some of that juice over the steak, add our pepper, and let that toast. Don't put the pepper directly over the heat because it'll burn pretty quick. Alright, okay, so now I flipped the limes over, so now they're starting to get charred. Now we've got a completely different lime flavor profile. Now we've got toasted lime sugars. So that juice is going to be toasted lime juice, roasty lime juice that we're putting on our steak. And you see those little dark bits on the steak? That's actually the sugar starting to caramelize and make these tiny little nibs of lime roasty candy. Fantastic, delicious. Okay, so I finished cooking my steak about halfway. Removing the grates, I'm adding some apple wood. I'm going to put the apple wood directly over the coals, let it start to smoke. Now we're putting the steak off to the side, not directly over the heat. Add just a little bit more of that delicious roasty lime juice. Now we're going to close it and let it smoke for like 5 or 6 minutes or so. Now this isn't like barbecue, so you don't want to smoke it forever. Oh, look at this. So the smoke is white. That's what you want. You don't want black smoke. Black smoke tastes acrid. Alright, once the steak is just about finished, throw your asparagus right on there, and I throw them over the open fire so they get kind of that charred action. You can see on that one right there, it's a little charred, but I like that. If you don't, then you can put the fire out, but I dig it. Alright, so here's what the garlic looks like when it's all done, so we can pull all of our treats off. Alright, let's head back into the studio. And now you can see what it looks like. Everything's just so gorgeous and easy. And I actually like that there's a lot of green on this plate. If you want to change up the colors, it's cool. All right, so we squeezed this lime 3 times, and there's still juice coming out. You see that? Gorgeous. Oh, and the pepper kind of, the heat mellows out just a little bit once you char it in this way. So if you don't like the hot stuff, then don't eat it. All right, look at this. This is the money shot. Oh, garlic. Oh, yeah. Like butter, baby. Like butter, baby. It's so good, so rich, so amazing. That is just, there's a few tricks of how I like to make my steaks. Chelsea loves these, but if you're making these for your lovely lady, or for your boyfriend or husband or something like that, make sure you both eat the garlic because it is potent and very garlicky. Unless you're a vampire. Are you? You're not a vampire. Are you? So yeah, there's the tip. A little lime juice, and then toast that lime juice over the open fire so it gets charred and beautiful. And it kind of changes the flavor profiles. Like, that's something I want you guys to do when you think about cooking, especially if you cook a lot and you find yourself making the same thing over and over and over again. Add little things. Like, I'm sure you've grilled a steak before, but have you roasted the garlic or toasted lime juice and then put that over the top? So like these little tiny things that can change up the rut. Change up the rut. It needs to be a t-shirt, maybe. I don't know. If you guys have watched the video this far, you obviously liked it, so make sure you click that like button. You've watched this far? Show some love. Click that like button. If you're on Facebook, click the little heart. Like that. I don't even know. All the cool kids do it. Hey, you guys see my wicked hat? Sure. Pretty sweet. Hey, hope you guys loved that video. If you're on Facebook, find your way over to my Facebook fan page. Click the like button. Show some love. If you love this video, share it with all your foodie friends. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and do that. And I will see you guys in the next video.
Well, that hit the spot.